Hello, OMG, and welcome back to my channel where we have part 2 of the Best Influencer Collaboration series featuring the Dose of Colors X Desi and Katy eyeshadow palette. So if you want to see how to get this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so let's get on with part 2 of the Best Influencer Collaboration series. And as mentioned, we are going to be using the Dose of Colors X Desi and Katy eyeshadow palette. I remember when this palette came out, it was absolutely beautiful. This was their second collaboration with Dose of Colors, and I remember them specifically showing how they even chose like this glittery texture for the actual eyeshadow palette. And I'm gonna show you, she's pretty beat up because again, I use her a lot because this collaboration was just absolutely iconic, absolutely beautiful. These colors are so pigmented, absolutely stunning. These glitters are just popping. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the looks. I can show you why I am obsessed with this palette to this day. So this eyeshadow palette is so bomb that you honestly could use this palette and create so many looks to wear with a mask. So I do have to go out in public today and I'm really scared because I literally have not left my house really to actually go out in the public since probably March, April, and I'm at the point where, it is June. I have not been to the grocery store since March. I've been having my hubby, always bring home the groceries. So today I have to venture out. I decided I'm going to go to the grocery store because I want to pick out some things, and it is scary. It is a scary thought because I really haven't been out. So I was like, you know what, let me just film a makeup look. Let me film part 2 because I have to go out anyways and I want my eyes to look really pretty. Let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to be using the P. Louise eyeshadow base, of course, for our eyeshadow base, because when you are doing a makeup with a mask look, you really want your eyes to pop. This base absolutely works phenomenal. If you guys don't have it, it is a little bit of investment to me. It's an investment because I believe it is a $20 eyeshadow base. And you can use a concealer that you can buy from the drugstore for super cheap. But as you can see, this literally hides any discoloration that I have. It hides my veins. I do get a little blue right here. I stress out a lot because of life and my job. So right here I have bags and a little bit discoloration, and it just really helps to cover it all up, as you guys can see. So if you don't have the P. Louise eyeshadow base, I highly recommend it. I definitely want to try the other color. Ugh, it's the weekend, I can't talk. I definitely want to try, I film on the weekends because of my job, but I want to try the other colors because they look absolutely beautiful. And a lot of people have been tagging me in some posts that I guess P. Louise was having some type of competition where, whoever used their base the best, or I don't know, created the best look, won something. So I've seen how beautiful eyeshadow looks come with this base. So I would love to try other colors. So I'm just gonna take a little bit and apply it under my eyes because my under eyes are looking a little dark because let's just say June has been quite the month already. I'm sure you all feel the exact same way. It's been a bucket of emotions, that's for sure. A lot of change, which is good. We need, systematic change. We need change just across the board, period. So, it's been an emotional month, I would say, for the entire world. And even with work and everything, it's hard to, go through movements and go through change. And I'm very blessed to still be working, but it's also very difficult to manage that with the stresses of work. So I have a lot more bags. I have lost some sleep. Just a hard June. I'm sure you all feel the same way. So let's get into some lighter subjects and let's get back into the look. So I want to create, obviously I'm wearing green, so I wanted to use this green beautiful glitter right here. But before we're gonna go ahead and use this color right here, it's called Basic. Now it looks like more of a peachy color. It goes on a little bit darker than it looks well, at least in my opinion. You guys can see it goes on a little bit more peachier, like a rosy peach, than more of a nude. So who else here remembers when Desi and Katy created the video showing how they put this palette together, how hard they worked with Anna, the CEO, owner of Dose of Colors. I remember watching it and I was just so excited. At the time, I didn't get the highlight. I remember there was a highlight. I didn't get the highlight. I think there was lipsticks or lip gloss, and I wasn't able to get those because the Ulta that was by where I was living at the time was sold out of everything. The only thing they had was the eyeshadow palette, so it was the only thing that I got from the collection at the time. So, and I wasn't really spending a lot of money on makeup at the time, so I was only able to grab the eyeshadow palette. But hey, I mean, so worth the dollars. I remember it being like $52, which is expensive to me for an eyeshaddle palette, but it's so worth it. So we're gonna get a little bit more precise, and we're gonna use this color right here called Necessary. It is more of like a light taupey color, and you could do so much looks with this palette. Like, I seriously love it. There were days where like I was in a hurry for work or just in a hurry to get ready, and I would just plop on the more brown tones in this palette and then just call it a day. Like, I have used this palette so much, as you guys can tell. I've almost hit pan on that first color that we used. But I just love it because it's so buttery. You can literally layer and layer these eyeshadow colors and it doesn't get patchy. Even on my dry ass skin, like, this palette just works phenomenal. And I would love to see a third collaboration with Dose of Colors. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, or some people, want to see Dose of Colors collaborate with other people, which I do too. I want to see them do more collaborations. But I also think that, you know, it's so iconic when Katy and Desi come together because they are such a beautiful definition of a strong friendship, a very supportive friendship. And I know that Desi is, you know, soon due for her baby, so hopefully after, you know, they get back into more of the makeup game where she does, and they come out with a third collaboration. So the next color we're going to use is Churro, and I remember I think Desi had named that color Churro, and it's a really pretty brown, so we're just going to use this in the outer corners. I'm just going to apply, kind of fan it out or wing it out. I'm telling you, like, this palette's just so pretty. And then I'm gonna just like wing it. So I'm just gonna bring in the excess that's on the brush and just add it to the edges. And don't worry if your makeup gets a little bit sloppy because we are gonna clean it up before we add on the mask. So that way your mask doesn't get dirty. I honestly, like, if you're wearing, well, you should be wearing a mask out of respect for other people, for goodness gracious sake. Like, for example, I went to In-N-Out yesterday to get food, and it was like, okay, I'm telling you, I'm taking baby steps with going outside the house. And I went inside In-N-Out because the line had like 50 cars, and I was like, there's honestly about to be a protest in my area, and I had to get home, you know, because I needed to get home. So there was a line of cars, and I think everyone was just trying to get their food real quick just in case, you know, the protesters were going to be in the area. I believe they were peacefully protesting, which I 100% support, but I just didn't want to get stuck in the area, you know, in my car. So I went inside the In-N-Out to get my food, and there was like two young people that walked in without a mask. And mind you, every single person, down to kids inside In-N-Out, were wearing a mask. And I just looked at them like you could be asymptomatic. We don't know, like, whether this disease, like whether you want to believe it's fake or it's real. Right now, we should rely on that it's real, because I personally know people that have gotten it, and like, well, I personally know people whose family members have gotten it. And, you know, whether you know, the media plays it up to be worse than what it is, and whether you want to choose not to care, remember that there are other people around you who you don't know if they have issues with their immune system. You don't know if they're missing organs. They might not know if they have an underlying health condition, and if they get the coronavirus, or if they get this virus, whatever the heck it may be, if they get it, Lord knows what can happen to them. And I feel like I'm in that same boat, because I have had like the weirdest health issues growing up. Right now I'm relatively healthy, but I am missing my gallbladder. I have allergies. I don't know if I have anything else. I know my immune system is shit. But my point is, it was so irritating to see these two young people without a mask, and there was kids, I mean the workers, everyone was social distancing. Like I had on my N95 mask, there was people all around me literally with N95 masks. We all did not even stand like an inch close to each other. Like everyone was super respectful waiting inside the In-N-Out for their food, and everyone was just spaced out and very and showed a lot of courtesy and respect to the workers. No one got too close, no one was rude to them. It was a trip because it was, you know, one of my first times actually going into a food place and seeing plexiglass just everywhere, and seeing like the seats empty, and seeing like you can't even get napkins, you can't, you know, use the soda machines. There wasn't any like ketchup machines that were available to use, and these two people walking without a mask, and it was just so frustrating to me because it's like, how could you be so inconsiderate of other people around you? Because you truly don't know if the person to your left or to your right has an underlying health condition. So here I go on my rants. If you followed me when I first started my Instagram for Legal Beauty, you would know that I used to go on my stories all the time and just rant and rant and rant. But it was like, you know, legit rants, just life rants that you could relate to. I'm thinking about bringing that back and, you know, doing my rants because I just feel like I had a lot to say. And you know what? I just have a lot to say about that. It really pisses me off to see young people just not caring. So care. Just care. Like even the protesters, like they're all wearing their mascara, they're wearing a bandana, they're wearing a mask. Like I'm very concerned with, you know, what the numbers are gonna look like, because I would hate to see all these protesters that, you know, are doing something good for a cause end up getting sick or end up, you know, fatally dying from this disease because we just don't know about, you know, so much of it yet. But anyways, it was very frustrating. So if I see someone at the market today without a mask, I might just lose my shit. Let's get back to the eyeshadow look because makeup makes me happy. So let's go ahead and get into this green color. So it's called Dirty Money, and I'm holding it very carefully because as you can see, I have gotten eyeshadow everywhere. I'm just gonna use more of a pressed brush, more of like an angled brush to just lightly tap into it. We're gonna start off with a little bit and then just place it in the center. Do you guys see how pretty that is? It's like a military green color. It's just really, really pretty. And then I wanna bring it to the inner, and we're gonna get some fallout because it is a flaky glitter. And we're just gonna go ahead and put it into my eye right here, into the natural shape of it. And then we'll just blend it in towards the outer corner. And I'm probably gonna get a smaller brush so I can get a little bit more precise, because I want to get more precise with the glitter. And then right here, you can just kind of like flick out this glitter, and then that way it'll just like blend in where it looks like, you know, it was meant to be. Do you see how pretty that glitter is? Now we're gonna do the other side. We're gonna start off with the same brush, and then we'll get a little bit more precise when we get more towards the inside of my eyes, more towards up here. That way we can get a little bit more precise with the placement of the glitter. You could use your finger, but this is such a beautiful glitter that you don't need to use your finger. You could use a brush and you still get a beautiful green golden look. And then now we're going to take that smaller brush and just get a little bit more into the areas that are harder to get into with a thicker brush right here. Bring it up. Just feel like I just lifted a weight off my shoulders venting about those two young people at In-N-Out, literally. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. Like, do you guys see how beautiful that is? I know it kind of looks crazy on camera right now because it's all over the place, but when it all comes together, it'll look really pretty. So we got to do our brow bone. We're going to use the first color that we use, which is basic, and I'm just going to lightly apply it just to kind of set the P. Louise eyeshadow base and the concealer that I had used to carve out my brows. I like to just go ahead and blend this. I'm just gonna take like a fluffy brush and kind of just get rid of any eyeshadow that fell. Okay, so now we're gonna just put on a little bit of foundation because forehead and a little bit of the under eyes does show. I'm going to be using my LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation. If you haven't already seen, I did a foundation series, the best foundations for oily skin and dry skin. Oh my God, I used way too much. Goodness gracious, what should I do? Oh my God, look, I'm getting, oh my God, I don't know, whatever. I'm getting makeup everywhere. I used too much foundation on my forehead. I used like a whole pump when I should have used like a quarter of a pump. But anyways, yeah, if you haven't already seen, I did a foundation series and I wanted to do one that showed you guys the best foundations for both oily and dry skin because I literally have both oily and dry skin. It kind of just depends on the time of year. Right now I have more on the oily side because the weather is getting a little bit more hot, and when it gets more hot, my skin gets a little bit more oily. When the weather gets cold, I have dry skin. And then when we are transitioning from hot to cold weather or vice versa, I get combo skin. So I created that series just to help you guys out and, you know, just give you like my little tips and tricks of what works with a hydrating foundation and what works with a matte foundation. So then what I like to do is take my foundation with the brush and then just kind of like carve out the shadow and give it like more of a cat eye wing effect, just like so. And it just helps to clean it up. Now I'm gonna bring a little bit down my nose because the nose does show. A little bit right here just to go over if there is any more of my discoloration that is showing. Just gonna pat that in. Up. So we're looking ghosty, but it's okay. So now we're just gonna set this foundation real quick with my BH Cosmetics Pro Matte Powder. Just gonna take a Luxie brush and set that in. This is so that it doesn't move throughout the day or when I am out doing my groceries. I still want my foundation to be set. I don't want it to move. Just gonna go ahead and apply it down the bridge of the nose. So now we're just gonna apply some eyebrow gel. We're using the ColourPop Brow Boss eyebrow gel in the clear color. I am running out of this, so I need to get a little bit more. Need to order actually a little bit more. Just maybe 2 more of these. Okay, so now we're gonna do mascara, and we're gonna use the Trace Good Vibes mascara. I'm telling you, you guys need to use this mascara. You need to buy it. It is so good. Oh, by the way, if you guys are in the market for some N95 masks, I know that they are difficult to find. I buy mine from Cami Nguyen. I did a review of her eyelashes here on my channel. Go to her website, just go to Google, type in Cami Nguyen lashes. It takes you to her page. She sells N95 masks with and without the filter. She sells them separately and then in bundles. And she has, I think, a few discount codes that you can use. And so if you wanted to purchase some for yourself, for your family, she has them. So I don't want to take away from the glitter look. So we're gonna apply some false lashes, but we're gonna let the mascara dry. So we're gonna go ahead and resume and do the bottom of our eyes. So we're just gonna take a smaller brush. Let me see which one I want to use. More of an angled brush to make my life easier. And we're gonna use first the color Basic, just to add some color to the bottom. And we're just gonna go ahead and just lightly pack that in. Just like so. It kind of gives it just like a base for your bottom eyes. Kind of like, you know, when sometimes you do your eyeshadow base or you do concealer and then you add like a light eyeshadow over it, it kind of does the same. So we're gonna go in with the color Necessary again, and we're just gonna go ahead and use it on the inner corner of our eyes and then just drag it up. I don't want to create too much of a smoky eye, so I'm gonna mainly focus this color on the outer corners of my eyes and have it meet the eyeshadow up here. Kind of just, you know, create that angle and connect it. And then same thing with the other side. Ooh, I got a little messy. Let me clean that up. Right here, I went a little bit too low. Just use a brush to get that out. And this helps to just strategically place it. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring it in just a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and use that brush that I used to clean up and just kind of like lightly blend it. That way it doesn't look too harsh. And then that's it for the bottom line. So for eyelashes, we're going to be using the Makeup Shack Bad and Bougie eyelashes. So I'm just gonna apply some glue, plop these on, and then we'll finish with bottom mascara. So I changed my mind. We're actually going to be using the Cami Win Fluffy Gap eyelashes. And the reason is I just felt like when I was applying the Makeup Shack ones that they weren't big enough for what I liked. It's more of a smaller lash. It's still Bad and Bougie, but it wasn't what I was really going for. So I'm just gonna go ahead and continue gluing these, plop these on, and then we'll put on bottom mascara, and then that's it. All right, so this is the final look using the Dose of Colors Desi x Katy eyeshadow palette, and I hope that you guys think it's beautiful. Look how pretty the glitters are with the nudes and the browns with the mask on. It all just comes together, and you can still rock very beautiful eyeshadow looks even with the mask on. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe. Please click that bell so you're notified of every time I upload a video. Also, please make sure you do your part. If you can, stay home. If you do go out, wear a mask, and also make sure to spread peace, love, and happiness. I will see you all in my next video.